We have a lot to talk about today, from SPY to NVIDIA to even crypto, just because of that strategic crypto reserve that just was announced today. So first off, over here, S&P 500, I want you to look at some of these prints. The first two are $2.1 million and $3 million in premium. That is a lot. Not only that, they have a short dated expiration. So you can see 314 and 314. So that expires in about 2 weeks from when these were executed. Both of these were above the ask. And look at the spot price on these, $583 for the $599 strike. What's crazy about this is we saw these hit the tape on February 28th at 9:34 a.m. So that was on Friday. And look at what happened afterwards. We had a huge upside move. They almost caught the exact low of day, like to the tick. You can see over here, just at that price, you're looking at about 582 as that exact low of day. And remember, they bought these at that 583 to 583 mid price. So they nailed this one. A huge upside move later on into the session to close very high on the day, a $10 move in only about 2 to 3 hours. So crazy amount of appreciation on not only these contracts, but also some of the other ones you can see that were posted on the Twitter account. These guys knew something was coming. And not only that, they still have some more time on these. We're going to see based on the open interest come Monday if they're still holding these contracts or if they got out by end of day. If they're still holding it, we'll see the open interest increase to likely somewhere around 17,000 plus. So if we come to Monday and we see 17,000 plus is still the open interest, they're still in those contracts and they still want to see some more upside, maybe even to make it in the money, which would mean about 599 getting satisfied. So crazy move there on the S&P 500. All of that was posted on the X account real time when those came out. I also want to bring your attention to NVIDIA flow because that's going to be very applicable for this week specifically. And actually, I'll go to the historical flow tab here on Cheddar Flow to show you a bigger picture. And as always, I like to filter these for over 1 million in premium to see what the big whales are doing. A couple notable things here from last week. First of all, we had a ton of dark pool premium to start off the week. This was before earnings, by the way. So you can see this is $1.6 billion worth of premium. That is a lot. That is no chump change for NVIDIA. And you can see just a lot of calls to end the week. A couple interesting orders. First one over here, 1 million print. This one was a little bit far in the money. A lot of these ended up being pretty deep in the money. But then we also had this 3.9 million put sell order. So this expires at the end of this week. And they sold this put to open in this case, and they're able to collect that premium by nice price appreciation in NVIDIA, which is kind of what we saw to end the day over here. Remember, they sold those the 120 and we saw a nice upside move. I also want to bring your attention to this trend line, which I referenced in last week's video and have previously referenced before. You can see this orange trend line. This has acted as a very nice support numerous times since it started at its pivot back here in April. You can see first retest over here, second over here, very nice bounce after, and then this is the third, and it looks like it's the start of a nice bounce yet again. So a beautiful bounce over here. Also very nice volume profile on this one, which is why I have it on this chart just to show you in the video. You can see a ton of volume around this 120 area, which is perfect. Very nice convergence once we retested it on Friday, and then a very nice bounce afterwards. So this one still needs to stay above. As long as it does, we'll see this continue with that bullish path all the way up to around 140. If for whatever reason we were to fall under this trend line, then definitely be very careful there. It's actually more so of a short opportunity if it falls under this trend line. As long as it can stay above though, as long as we see that complementing bullish flow like we saw to end last week, then it looks beautiful for some more upside. And you can see some of these other large and aggressive out the money call orders, 3.2 million in premium, 2.1 million in premium, 1.8 million in premium. All of these, again, out the money with very short dated expirations. These are super unusual prints, guys, even for NVIDIA, and these guys are very bullish on it. And again, it did close much higher on the day since they were able to catch the low. So it worked very well on both S&P 500 and NVIDIA. And these are the types of orders where it's not like, oh, the move already happened. This is the type of order where typically we see continuation from that entry that they had. So this is something to look at going into this week. It's not done yet. This move likely has some legs to it on both NVIDIA and what I showed you on SPY over here. As long as SPY can continue to remain kind of in this range it's been stuck within, or at least above 590.50, we can see some more upside, at least to around 602.70. And then if it can get above that, we can see beyond to 608.46. Remember, this is still a very nice retest of what I shared in the last video, the lower end of the golden pocket. We did have a little bit of a flush under that golden pocket but it was able to reclaim it by the weekly. So it looks structurally sound despite a lot of the chop we've seen recently. So some upside is to be expected going into this week. And we'll continue to watch to see what that open interest is come Monday for those SPY contracts as well as these NVIDIA contracts. Now, the last thing I do want to mention is crypto, because pretty insane news. I'll actually go to this crypto chart, or at least for Bitcoin over here. You can see we are at 94,000 on Bitcoin. Some insane news this weekend with the strategic reserve. Trump announced that earlier today on Sunday when I'm recording this. So very nice upside move. I'll get rid of this volume profile, but a couple interesting things I want to mention. First of all, if we use something simple like Fibonacci from the previous range low to the upper end, you can see this was a beautiful wick off of the 0.5 retracement over here. So a very nice wick around 80,000, just a little bit under for that liquidity grab, and then an immediate reversal to the upside, plus that strength from the news today. So very nice, structurally sound at the moment. Additionally, something else I want to mention over here, there was a previous range and we were stuck within it for quite a while, like from November all the way till it broke down in end of February. We are reclaiming that as I speak in this video. So the daily hasn't closed yet, but we're getting close to daily close. Closes in an hour and 15 minutes. So it looks like Bitcoin wants to close back within the range, which would mean, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know already what I'm about to say. This would mean this was a failed breakdown. And whenever you see failed breakdowns, there's a very, very high probability you will see it break out to the upper end afterwards. We've seen this before with the first one that comes to mind is QQQ. I can just show you that very briefly. But in the past, back in 2023, the perfect example of this, we had a flag over here. I remember this because I traded it. And it was an amazing upside move afterwards. We saw this flag break down over here, but it was a failed breakdown. You can see 2 weak daily candles, then kind of consolidated out for a day or two, and then it reclaimed the flag. All of this over here is a failed breakdown, which makes the eventual move even stronger. This shows there's a lot more demand than bears thought going into it, and those bears have to cover at the same time that demand starts to go. And we saw a huge rally afterwards. It's essentially the same principle here on something like Bitcoin, if it is able to hold above into this range over here. So if it's able to hold above this 91,400 roughly, then we can see a nice continuation higher all the way up to the mid 105,000, 210,000 next. And also, I'm actually very bullish on Ethereum as well. I'll show you that over here. Right now, it's sitting at 2,500, a beautiful retest of this uptrend. Over here, you can see where this started on June 19th, and then a couple tests over here as support, another test over here, and then just recently we had a nice wick and then a liquidity grab under that wick over here. Beautiful setup, and then it just ran after. So this one, I favor a lot more upside personally. I've actually been very interested in this recently, and I don't normally trade crypto. So that says a lot about how interested I was in this technical setup, and you can see very nice reversal candles so far. The target of this, believe it or not, would be all the way back up to 3,600, assuming this double bottom holds. So you're looking at about a risk of 2,100 or so, and an upside potential of 36,000 after. So even with this upside move today, let's say it closes up here, that's still about 50% move from here if it can hold that low. So some pretty incredible upside potential here on Ethereum if it wants to take it, if the bulls want to take it, that is. But just thought I'd share that in today's video as well. And that would be the downtrend as my target. If it got above the downtrend, it would go a lot higher, but let's not get ahead of ourselves for the time being. Just thought I'd share the technical setup here for you guys today. Again, really like what I see across the market from SPY to NVIDIA to even Ethereum. And it's great to see that even the flow is complementing that thought process at the moment. Regardless, as always, appreciate you guys watching this video. I will see you next time.